There's something happening in our workplaces, and it's happening pretty quietly. It's this growing gap between our most experienced professionals and the crazy fast pace of technology. We're calling it the new digital divide. And it's not about having internet, it's about having relevance in a world that just won't stop changing. So, let's dive in.
So I want to kick things off with a question, really for all of us to think about. As everything goes digital, as AI and new software become just, part of the job, are we actually building a world where our most seasoned colleagues can keep leading? Or are we accidentally pushing all that incredible wisdom they have to the sidelines? And this leads to what you could almost call a silent tragedy. We're watching some of our heaviest hitters, people who literally built industries, start to feel like they're being left behind by the very world they helped create. It's a huge loss. And here's where the perception gets really dangerous. This term, old school, it's somehow starting to mean obsolete. But that's just not true. We're talking about energetic, enthusiastic pros with decades of wisdom you just can't buy. The problem isn't their value. It's this growing fear that their value isn't being seen anymore. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. I want to tell you a real story that just puts this whole thing into sharp focus. It's about a leader's really humble call for help. So, I got a call from a former C-suite executive, a guy who was a giant in the manufacturing world. I mean, he's run global supply chains, led thousands of people, a true veteran with a track record that speaks for itself. He was trying to use a new AI coaching tool, and he just came right out and said it. He was struggling to really get it, to see its full potential. But here's the thing. He didn't call to complain about it. He didn't call to say this new tech is junk. He called to learn. Think about that. A man with a lifetime of excellence, just humbly asking for a way to connect to the tools of today. And his call, man, it just gets right to the heart of it all. How do we connect that deep well of human wisdom, that intuition, that experience, with the cold, hard logic of an algorithm? How do we actually build that bridge?
Well, the answer, and this is so important, lies in totally reframing how we measure what it means to be relevant in your profession. It's time for a new metric, one that has absolutely nothing to do with your age.
This is a huge mental shift. The old way of thinking, it always tied your relevance to your age. You hit a certain number and, well, you were on your way out. But the new reality, it's all about agility. That one little shift in how we think is the absolute key to unlocking growth and impact, no matter how long you've been doing what you do.
So what do we even mean by agility? Because it's not just about moving fast. It's a cycle. It's this powerful ability to learn new things, have the courage to unlearn the old ways, and then the wisdom to relearn how to apply everything you know in a totally new situation.
Okay, so let's break it down into 3 simple steps. First, you've got to lean in and actually learn the new tools. Get your hands dirty. Second, and this is the tough one for a lot of us, you have to be willing to let go of old habits that just don't work anymore. You have to unlearn. And finally, you relearn how to mix your deep experience with these new tools. It's a loop, and it's how you stay on top of your game. And when you start thinking this way, it leads to a really empowering solution. See, this isn't about replacing what works, not at all. It's about amplifying it. This right here is the whole point. Technology isn't the enemy of experience. It should be its best friend. The goal isn't for some new software to replace a seasoned pro. The goal is for that pro to use the software to make their wisdom even more powerful. So you've basically got 2 paths you can go down. The replacement path sees experience as a liability and just creates this massive divide. But the amplifier path, that one sees technology as a tool to make wisdom stronger, and it builds a bridge between generations, between skill sets. And please, never, ever forget this. Technology, it's learnable. Algorithms, you can figure them out. But your wisdom, your intuition, that gut feeling you've developed over decades of wins and losses, that is irreplaceable. No computer on earth can do that. Okay, so if any of this is hitting home, if you're that experienced pro feeling a little unsure about where things are headed, this next part is a direct call to action for you. It's time to step forward. It's so tempting to just retreat, right? To step back into the shadows where things feel comfortable and familiar. You got to resist that urge.
No. Instead, step forward. Step into the light. Step right up to the challenge with curiosity and with that confidence that only comes from a lifetime of knowing your stuff.
You have the power to be the one who bridges this gap, not just for you, but for your whole team and for the next generation of leaders who are starving for your guidance.
Because here's the absolute truth. The future isn't just about the next shiny new thing. For it to be strong, for it to be built right, it needs your history, it needs your perspective, it needs the lessons you've already learned.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The choice is really ours, right now. Are we just going to stand by and let this digital divide turn into a graveyard for priceless experience? Or are we going to be the ones who build the bridges so that wisdom and technology can win together?